una semana esperando un milagro que mi hija estuviera bien, pero desgraciadamente no se pudo hacer nada.
If you don't speak Spanish and didn't read the translation there, she was saying that she was hoping for a miracle that her daughter would survive, and unfortunately she did not. Her daughter being 11 years old. Any time that a parent has to bury a child, it's an unimaginable tragedy, even more so when they're so young. But the reason that her daughter died makes it that much worse.
Gainesville, a young girl's death by suicide is under investigation after her mother says she was bullied by classmates over her family's immigration status.
Her 11-year-old daughter was allegedly being bullied relentlessly at school by other kids about her family's immigration status. They were telling her that her parents were going to be deported and that she was going to be left here all alone. They said this to her over and over and over again until an 11-year-old child felt so helpless and was so terrified of that prospect, she didn't want to live anymore, and she took her own life. And the worst part, perhaps, of all of this, the insult to the injury, is that while that was happening and she was seeking help at school, no one told her mom that this was going on.
Al parecer la escuela estaba al tanto de eso, pero a mí nunca me hicieron saber lo que estaba pasando con mi hija.
And I had to change my whole plan.
La madre dice que no sabía nada de esta situación. Se habría enterado cuando su hija ya había muerto.
Ella al parecer iba de 1 a 2 veces semanal a consejería a reportar lo que estaba pasando.
She was meeting with a school counselor once to twice a week to discuss what was going on, potentially for months. And that's according to investigators. And no one told her mother. Her mother only found out after her death when investigators were told that by the school. They told police, but didn't tell her own mother. And as bad as this is, and it's just about the worst thing I can think of, the response from some on the right to this story is even worse. Like Josiah here, who saw this story posted on Twitter and felt it was a good idea to retweet it just to say, emotional blackmail was defeated at the ballot box. In other words, we don't feel bad about this. We don't give a fuck. And guess what, Josiah? You don't have to work hard to convince us. It's very clear the Republican Party doesn't give a fuck about dead children. Their complete disregard and refusal to do anything about the epidemic that is school shootings has made that perfectly clear. But I'll give you just one more, because this woman pissed me off when she started crying victim and poor me when people called her out about her horrible comments regarding this story. You see, somebody posted this story, and then she responded that it was bullshit, this was a fake story from the libs. And when someone who I'm guessing kind of keeps tabs on her and regularly calls her out on her bullshit was like, no, this is a real story, she responded to that person, whatever, you stalker, one less mouth to feed. She saw a story about an 11-year-old child who died for fear that her family would be deported. And she said, one less mouth to feed. And when they were shocked and said, you're happy a girl committed, And she said, not happy at all, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings if you followed suit. So yeah, Danny, is it? You're a giant hunk of shit. And all of you who are co-signing what happened, who are co-signing the events that led to all of this, are giant hunks of shit. And I will never forgive you for it.